Guess who? What do you mean? What do you mean? How do I know you can still read it when it's not? When it's lagging? When it's not? When I'm not online? Well, I tell you how. Who am I talking to? Oh, do you know what? In the onion world, it could be a fucking whole multitude of people in the layers of the internet. How many layers of internet is there supposed to be? Oh, God. Well, I tell you how, anyway. On one of my... Before you know who went off on one of his fucking cave adventures. I'm off to the man cave again. Right then, see you later then, bye. And I got another ban, as usual. Just because, you know what, we don't want the others to get jealous, do we? No one will suspect a damn thing if I keep throwing you off the internet. I could still oh, stop it. I could still, I wasn't completely blocked, was I? I could still read things, I just couldn't comment. Which I'm sure isn't, whatever. I was just finding my way around, and it's interesting different times how the whole, what do you call it? Well, the feed completely changes, isn't it? It's like, well, Christ, which fraternity, which fucking, what's it called? Franchise have you fucking sat me with this week? Who are these fucking bananas? There's a whole different thing going on. Yeah, I don't care about you. You're off my wall now. Go away. I want to play with... And I was still writing in the boxes, wasn't I? Yes, you were, he says. And it would still come off my feed, things in reply to what I'd written. So that's how I know you can still read it when it's hanging in offline. So all you fucking Scooby-Dooers, whether I worked in tech or not, I've fucking ascertained by my own means an amount of, what do you call it? Fact-based evidence. So I know. Who do I think's playing with the stunt guns at the moment? Well, either some new, that's what normally happens. He usually puts his new fucking pansy on my wall, doesn't he? Go and play with her. Look, this proves how much I don't like her. You go and have a go on her. Oh, every fucking time. Or it could be one of Jelly Musk's new, what you call these people that you've turned off. You've turfed them off the internet, turfed them out of the Twitter office, so they're now playing throw their arms around in my stump pocket. Could be anyone really, or it could just be someone else flexing their muscles. It could be the potato van. That's NATO, the NATO potatoes, remember? Keep catching up because I keep saying all these. You told me the other day I was in a sealed can anyway, so I can say what I want. Well, we're in reason. But I don't know. Is somebody else flexing their muscles anyway? But I do wonder, what was I thinking the other day? Oh, no, today actually, with some bit of news about the layoffs and the layoffs at Meta and the layoffs at Twitter. But, I mean, if you have changed staff for cheap or whatever, I mean, is that just part of, you jokingly said about, is my wife a Fed, but is it just to go through their pockets? I mean, that's what I would do. That's what I'd do if it was me. It's like, we know you, I mean, clearly you get people in on their capabilities of fucking working. You'd rather have them working with you than against you. But if it's like, what's it called? Intelligence work, which clearly there's going to be intelligence going on at the moment. Stick on the bait dog. See what they can do. I don't know. Oh, my girlfriend is my girlfriend a Fed. That was funny. I don't care who put it up. It was funny. Who do you think it was? I don't know. Fucking hell. It could be anyone, couldn't it? It could be anyone. Anyone at all. I don't know who you've sat me with. I told you on the multi-layers of the the multi-layers of the web, because clearly there's tech. There's a lot of tech in the world. So I was saying to the bloke, I'll tell you what happened. I was talking to this bloke up on the roundabout, who's always there, and he's like his jacket, and often just say hello to him, and we just stop saying hello to Dad. So, what do you wait for work or whatever? He goes, "I'm not work, blah blah." And I only say that because, well, you look like you've been waiting to pick up after a job or something, because my son does blah blah. And then we just got talking about this whole, these whole, well, I'll call it bottle caps. The bottle caps going pinging, and oh, Jesus, I mean, it is seriously empty your pockets, boys. What the fucking hell? All these fucking... You've had the laser printers out, fucking spinning all these things off, and now you've got this lot. It's quite... I mean, if you stand back from it, which is supposed to be my thing anyway, when I've had my palms read, it's like, well, you do stand back from things and look in with a sort of an objective eye. That's Trotsky. Who's Frank James? He's the Fed. He's the actual Fed. What was the thing about in this? I couldn't find it. It was just coincidence that I'd just read it when I saw that thing about the slow drones. Well, comparatively. And so that's really why I posted it, because of the coincidence. I forgot what it was. But if I quickly find it. I'm sure you're all dipping into this book at the moment. It's quite an easy read, actually. I mean, I've read 21 pages, and you know me. Let me find it. Let's pray. Oh, for fuck's sake, the dog's looking for chewing gum. I know. I've got a dog that looks for chewing gum. Well, basically, what it was. I mean, it said about Russia. I mean, it's Trotsky's written it, so it wasn't in a negative way, but he writes in third person. She's found chewing gum. I want to read it. That would be the best thing. I can't find it. I've lost my page now. But basically, the slow growth, I suppose. He talks about Russian being like a... I can't think how did he word it? I can't think of ways of wording it. It's like not prehistoric. That's completely the wrong word. Oh, Dolly, go away! She's kissing me. I think that's it. No. This might be it. Backwardness. I've seen it there. I don't know where it starts. I'll just read this whole paragraph from this passage. The instrument of war is the army, inasmuch as every army is considered unconquerable in the national mythology. The ruling classes of Russia saw no reason for making an exception of the army of the Tsar. In reality, however, this army was a serious force only against semi-barbaric peoples, small neighbours, and disintegrating states. On the European arena, it could act only as part of a coalition. In the matter of defence, it could fulfil its task only by the help of the vastness of spaces, the sparsity of population, the impassability of the roads, the virtuoso of this army the serfs had been so of, the French Revolution in breaking open the doors. I did think that woman was probably a mate of you-know-who's as well. The comedian. In breaking open, well, that's her tactic, isn't it? Okay, I'll get my mates on you. It's like, oh, do you know what? Can't you just put my fucking shoes back? The semi-annulment of serfdom. Blah, blah, I can't be able to read it now. And there was no correspondence between the cultural level of the peasant soldier and the modern military technique. The commanding staff, the ignorance, the light-mindedness, the theory of the ruling classes found their expression. Industry and transport continually revealing their bankruptcy before the concentrated demands of wartime, though appropriately armed, it seemed, on the first day of war. Maybe it's not this bit. Anyway, in the matter of military supplies and finances, Russia at war suddenly finds itself in slavish dependence upon her allies. This is merely a military expression of her general dependence upon advanced capitalist countries, but the help of the allies that this isn't the bit, I'm sure. The lack of munitions and small number of factories for the sparseness of railway lines and transportation soon translated the backness of Russia to the familiar language of defeat. It's not this is very positive, is it? It was along those lines they called it backwards. There was something about the backwards. This is maybe the wrong chapter. But it was the backwardness that was the forwardness. And it said something about America being the same. And that's where its success came from, its backwardsness, I think, is basically, it was along those lines, but I can't find it. I'm too hot now anyway, I'm moody. This is about backwards as well here. The law of combined development reveals itself almost inaudibly. However, the history and character of Russian industry, arising late, Russian industry did not repeat the development of the advanced countries, but inserted itself in development, adapting its own backwardsness. The economic evolution of Russia as a whole skipped over the epoch of craft, guilds, and manufacture. I think it was this bit. Thanks to Russia, it developed at certain periods of extraordinary speed. Between the revolution, industrial productions in Russia approximately doubled. It seemed certain Russian historians a sufficient basis for concluding we must abandon the legend of backwardness and slow growth, the reality of swift growth, and determined by the very backwardness which, alas, continued not only up to the moment of liquidation of the old Russia, but its legacy up to the present day. That's not that bit either. I don't know though. I mean, I was saying the other day, wasn't I? I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about all this stuff. But often the simpler things prove the most effective. And things go full circle, don't they? It's like, what's it called? It's not topping out in business. When things just get so big, they have to go small. And you have to go underneath it again, don't you? But that happens with everything. It's like, just as an example, beautiful women. It's like, oh, do you know what? I think George Michael did that, didn't he? I'm so sick of fucking beautiful women. I'm just going to go for the D. But it's probably more complex than that. But it's like, I just fancy something different. I'm like that with everything. I fancy something different now. I don't want any more of that. I've had enough of that. We had enough of basically this. I've had enough of this. I'm just going to do something else. That's not what I need in my life. We're all saying that. Well, I know. I want to find it. I can't find it there. Peculiarities of Russia's development. I told you why I bought this. Because Trotsky was born in the Ukraine. And it was just interesting. Why am I saying that? Because I've got a whole load of new people who just think I'm being... The way Marx remembered. Say my name again, babe. Jackasses. I'll just read that bit to you. Look, this is the same line as Marx. German bureaucracy imposed upon them peace of the great. Marx remarks upon the theme in the same way the Teutonic jackasses blamed the despotism of Frederick II upon the French. Though the backward slaves were not always in need of civilised slaves to train them, this brief comment completely finishes off with the only philosophy of the Slavars, also the latest revelations of the racists. I can't remember what I was saying, or doing, or wanting to do. What do I think about Iran being involved? Well, they're going to have beef with America, aren't they? Clearly. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know what a lot of these things are over, and if it's over, I mean, often they're over fucking other people's ethics, aren't they? It's like, you can't do this, blah blah, repressing this or whatever. And then you look at the people who are coming in. It's like, well, do you know what? I don't really know. I don't really know where I sit with this. All the shit I've had posted through my fucking fun box. I'm not sure you're the right people to be telling other people how to live, but I don't know. I don't have all the information. And then the other thing that comes into it is like, people do lie, don't they? I mean, say it's over money. We want money because you've got loads of money. Or whatever. Oh, fuck knows. Do you know what? Things are too fucking complicated. This is why I don't want any fucking money. I want any fucking money. I don't want any money. I want the sky and Buddhist things. And my stuff back. And justice. And you know what? Just that sort of shit. Really. I will say that, don't I? What you haven't got, they can't take off you. That doesn't mean I don't think other people should have money. Why can't more people think like me? Money's just a pain in the arse, isn't it? The more you've got, the more people want off you. This is why I said I wanted to do this before I had any money, because I've fucking got stack loads of cash. I have all these people coming saying, oh, you can't say this, you can't do that. I want your money. It's like, do you know what? I ain't got none, so just whatever. You actually all owe me money. All of you. Or every last damn one of you. So I'll just lay here and do what I want and scream and shout about everything in the world. That's my power though, isn't it? That is my power. You can't come to me and say, you can't say that, because actually, do you know what? I've said it. If I had a load of cash that was mine anyway, you could come and take it off me and I might cry, but I haven't. I could go to prison. I probably could. I was in prison swearing about you then as well. No one will care. Well, no one cares anyway, do they? Just put me in fucking prison. Stay out here and get blown up yourselves. And keep doing your dumb things. Like stealing my jokes. And my shoes. Get your own shoes. Don't choose your own shoes, you like. She needs to know how it feels. What? Let's start this again. I have my toe there. And I'm supposed to be Friday with dilly. What's a dilly? We went through this the other day. It's a Romany thing. If your tooth has been taken up for whatever reason, chosen to be unsuitable, you get provided with a choice of dillies. Well, until you find a good one, which I haven't. So, well, do you know what? I'll just with my tooth then. Or we won't have nothing. It's fine. I don't even want that now anyway. This is what we want, isn't it? We want the old times back. That's what they want, they say. A Romany school. We just want to have old tovers and dillies in order. Why is the dog crying? God's sake. I said as well, that's what I said though, do you know, well, what I said was, what did I say? I can't remember. I wouldn't be surprised if America has just like started this thing with Ukraine to move them away from Russia. So it's the divide and conquer thing, isn't it? But what was my thing with the feminists? Well, the feminist agenda. That's another specific group. It's like, well, what they call third wave feminism, isn't it? And the toxic female and that whole situation. Not every feminist on the planet, but I'm just stepping away from it. Stepping right away from it. I know there was an agenda though. I did that before, didn't I? Third wave of feminism, the toxic female, the war within the war. Nobody ever voted on it for me though, did they? Well, they didn't provide me with the papers. People who make my eyes roll. It's like, oh Jesus God. That seems like a feminist person. I could be nice or I could be nasty. It's like, oh Christ, all right then, Jesus Christ. Have your liquid shoelaces. I'll just wait for my internet to get cut off. Well, that was the potatoes. Oh God. Right. 23 minutes of me talking shit. And what do I want from my husband? Well, I don't know. Do you know what? Basically, reading on Trotsky at the moment, I don't imagine he was like fucking sat at home with his wife 24/7, was he? He's like, do you know what? I've actually got to go and do some other stuff. Like be a political figure, a historical figure, and just stuff, basically. And that's it, really. Do stuff. Do political, historical things. And that was probably a different sort of traditional life. And I say Romans often live in separation anyway, because they can't. All they do is scream at each other in their fucking caravans. It's like, seriously, I need some fucking space. Can you just fuck off? And they do. They just take the horse and they go. I've got things to do. I've got seeds to set. I've got business and all sorts of other things to explore. I'm a Romany. I'm living a travelling life. We've got things to sort out in another country with another load of people. You wouldn't believe the things I've seen, they say when they come home. You wouldn't believe what... Is the tea on? Is the kettle? Is that old kettle copper pot boiling on the stove? I told you to always have it warming. Where are my goddamn slippers? Oh, why don't you fuck off again? You wouldn't believe what's happened to me. Oh, do you know what? I don't want to know. What the hell do you think I've been doing all this time while you've been gone? I knew you'd be okay. Did you bring the horse back? No, I didn't. I sold it from some magic beans. Did you get shoes for children? They had loads of shoes, thanks. Yeah, loads of shoes. Good. I managed just fine. Thanks a lot. Now show the others how to do it. All right then. Oh Christ, the dog's punching me. I'm going to go and leave you with your own life to discover. Okay then.